Hello, everyone, and welcome to LA Off the Record. I'm your host, Tammy Govea, and my guest today, she wears what I call many hats. She's an entrepreneur, a wife, a mother, an advocate, a philanthropist, and more recently, a podcaster just like us. Yay! Courtenay Hall, welcome to LA Off the Record. I'm so happy to have you here.
Gosh, Tammy, thank you so much for having me. That was quite the introduction. I feel so humbled right now. Thank you so much. It's been quite a ride.
I do want to let our viewers and our listeners know that we do have Winston in the room. He's our little puppy corgi that Courtenay has. So if you hear his beautiful voice in the background, just say, "Aw."
Oh, you're too kind. Please say aw, because he's a puppy and he goes crazy, but he's thrilled to even be in the background.
I wanted to start off by congratulating you on your mention in Magnum Business Magazine as one of the top 30 women to watch in 2026. This is a big deal. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yes, it was totally, honestly unexpected. I've been out of the game, as the editor-in-chief for a little while, and I wasn't expecting it, but I've been thinking it's time to get back into it. So that actually gave me a little bit of the push I needed. So yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And it's interesting because I've been following your story, when you were at Bella and, watching Bella TV. And I loved the platform. I loved the message. It was such a beautiful magazine. Just, I almost said cinematically, but it was just so beautiful. And for Magnum Magazine, you did a really short video for them. I guess they had wanted, give us some feedback or give us some wisdom and thoughts. And you had done a really lovely video on the importance of beauty.
Yes.
And finding beauty in life. And what does that mean? Whatever that means for people. And oh my gosh, Courtenay, that just got all the cylinders clicking in my brain, because that's always been, for me, as part of what my message is. It's always hashtag beauty matters.
That's right. Absolutely.
So I reached out to you and said, let's talk about beauty. What do you think?
I know. And I'm so happy to do it, because a lot of people thought when I launched Bella back in 2011 that, when I called it Bella, it was going to be just a beauty magazine. But, I had, deeper thoughts than that. And I thought, let's go with a tagline that is a little unexpected, which is beauty defined by you. And, as a woman, yes, I try to present when, say, I'm talking to you. But earlier, I was just a regular mom in sweatpants. So, I have multiple hats. But I just thought, how do people define beauty? It's truly not just on the outside, because I know a lot of beautiful people that really aren't that happy. So I started diving deeper into it. And I thought, I want to do a magazine that presents all types of beauty. And I want people to define it in their own life. And I feel like that message really worked well for me. It really did. It was great.
It's a timeless message.
Thank you. I think so too. And I think as you get older, it hits home a little bit more, because you're older, you're wiser, you've been through so many more things. You can define beauty in so many different ways. And I just feel like, let's not make women think beauty is just this, because this is makeup and lighting. It's not real. What's beautiful is who you are from the inside out.
Your time at Bella, I wanted to ask you, we all walk through life with our concept of what beauty is, whatever that is. How did your time as founder and former CEO and editor-in-chief at Bella Magazine, how did it shape your concept of beauty, or did it change it?
You know what? It definitely, I learned so much on so many levels. I must say, as the editor-in-chief of Bella, the perks were amazing. I mean, I got beauty treatments and all of these things I wouldn't necessarily have had access to as just a regular person, say. So I learned a lot, in that way is, how to, moisturize and good skincare and, just the right products to age gracefully. But then, when I was talking to people like, our celebrity covers, I would say to them, what's beautiful to you? How do you define beauty? And they'd be taken back by that question, and they wouldn't want to answer, oh, well, how you look's beautiful. So they would pause and think for a minute. And I just loved that every answer was different from everybody. And it gave me insight to what makes them feel beautiful and what makes them happy in life. That is definitely, not on the surface, a little bit deeper. So from that initial questioning is where the whole idea, grew. And that really became how people identified us.
Did you ever find that people were uncomfortable when you asked them that question? I know they were taken aback by it, but were people ever uncomfortable talking about it?
You know what? I can't really remember anyone, making it obvious if they did feel weird about it. Some people took a little bit longer to answer than others, which I wasn't surprised about, but I think about who I was asking. But, I feel like even after a couple of minutes of contemplating, it made them at least think a little bit, as to what is beautiful in their life aside from the outside.
When people took that pause to answer the question, there had to have been that conversation in their head of, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yes.
I mean, I do want to come from a place of truth, but I just don't want to come across as A, B, and C. I don't want backlash from saying A, B, and C, which is why I think I asked, was it controversial? Because I think on some level, people are uncomfortable talking about it because they don't want to be perceived as whatever.
Exactly. You know what? Thinking back now, I mean, a lot of people started out with, being kind, and obviously that's number one. And, just being empathetic to others, just being a good person, putting a good message out there. But, I definitely do feel like people were a little bit guarded. And that is what I didn't want, is that, I would say to them, guys, you define beauty in your own life. Like, no one's judging you here. I could go through a laundry list of what I think is beautiful that you may not. And that's what makes us different, is that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so I would try to say, don't feel nervous, just answer it. If you don't like the answer, we can reword it in the interview. So I would always like, don't get too nervous. We got your back. It's okay.
Well, I really appreciate the fact that, you're doing this now with your podcast, Moms, Moguls, and Mayhem. Is that the right order?
That's it.
Moguls and Mayhem, yes. Providing a safe space for these conversations to happen. Yes. Tell me, and you said you had a laundry list of what you think is beautiful. What are some of those things on your laundry list? What's important to you? What do you consider beautiful?
You know what? Most important to me is my family and my children, my husband, our little family unit. We call ourselves the Hall Family Five. That is.
Sounds like a reality show.
Oh my gosh, it could be, but no, thank you. Okay, it's a lot in here just with the dog. So imagine having the kids and husband here right now. But you know what? It's evolved. When I was in my 20s, it was all about being accomplished and making it, a name for myself in New York City, in the industry, So I found, doing well at work just made me feel so amazing and so great. But as I've evolved into now 30s, 40s, 50s, it's really just reading a good book, just having quiet time with myself, laughing with my kids, working part-time and not being fully back into it. And as I was telling my husband, as we were winding down Bella, I was saying a lot at the end, I just want to be a regular mom. Like, I don't want to have to do this every morning and go into the city, and I want a few years off just to be a regular mom. And that's how I've defined beauty for the past 6 years. is just being here full time for my kids. And it's literally been the best 6 years I've ever had. And now I'm almost an empty nester. So I will never regret making that decision.
So what is it about that full-time job of being a mother? What's the beauty in that?
The beauty in that is actually, I feel like I really got to know my kids because I was here 24/7. They couldn't get away with anything at that point, and they knew it. I mean, I had a lot of babysitters in and out, the grandmother, but I was home. I was dropping them off at school. I was picking them up at school. I was asking if their homework was done, making dinner. And it was a lot for them, but it made us all so much closer. I feel like I would have missed so much if I hadn't taken these years to get my girls through high school and my son through middle school and high school. And it just made us all so much closer. And I feel like our family runs much better have had me here for the past few years, running the ship.
It's interesting that you say that because, the role, you've got the mother and the father and people, I think society tends to put the role of the mother as more important or more pivotal. And I've always struggled a little bit with that because I believe, both parents need to rise to the occasion when it comes to raising a family. But there is that element, that maternal power and energy. And when that is, you can say it's kind of reintroduced to your family. You and your husband were busy building a foundation for your family business wise. And when you took the time to say, okay, breaks, I'm going to spend the next 6 years watching you guys.
Oh yeah. Watching is understatement. Yes.
That shifted everything. How do you think were the kids a little taken aback by that?
You know what? I feel like at first, yes, but as they're older now, they are much more like, oh, Mom, it'd be great if you were still doing Bella. There's so many celebrities I want to meet. Back then, they didn't really care as much. So now it would be great for them. I feel like it was good, especially because, it was so crazy. But 6 months after I sold it, COVID hit.
Let me tell you, Courtenay, when I was, doing some reading about you and you mentioned that you'd had a conversation with your husband, here's what I want to do, and green light, 2019, I went, okay, the stars, the universe, the angels, whatever you want to call it, you were so aligned with the optimal timing.
Gosh, yes.
For that.
100%. I felt so lucky and blessed that we were able to have 6 months transition where it wasn't like I was running Bella and then we were just all of a sudden in the house for a year, on top of each other. So that helped us to be like, all right, we're working from home for 14 days or a year, whatever it turns out to be. But it was honestly, it was God's perfect timing. I honestly believe that. But I want to just say real quick, my husband, thank God, I'm so lucky. He's always been my partner in our businesses, and he's been equally home and with the kids as much as me. So it's been really beneficial for both of us over these past few years.
We can talk about the beauty of that, having that kind of support in your life.
Yes.
To follow the dreams. Yes, you and I, being creatives, we don't relegate following the dream under the carpet. It's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Yes. And you impart that to your family and to your children. And we just walk through life with making that important. Like, you've got to be happy, find out what makes you happy. And ideally you attract the folks in your life that support that happiness.
Absolutely.
When it comes to beauty, as you mentioned, it's a personal definition. We probably have similarities, but we probably have a lot of differences as well in regards to what does that mean? What does that feel like? And as women, sometimes I just feel as if there's a little guilt associated with expressing what beauty means in our lives, or shame
Hmm.
associated with that. Do you agree, or what are your
I do,
thoughts on that?
I do agree. I feel that women have always been expected to toe the line, say certain things, be the best mom, be the best this, be the best that. And I just feel like, yeah, 100%. And I feel like there's no shame in any definition of beauty, even say if it's something that, say, I'm just totally, you know, don't agree with, whatever it is, who cares? Like, you think that's beautiful, and that makes you a better person if you're incorporating beauty into your own life. So I feel that judgment days are over. It's time to embrace whatever it looks like, anything, whatever it looks like. It's 2026. Like, the world is half on fire anyway. Let's just speak our truth, whatever that looks like.
How would you encourage someone to release that, being just too self-conscious, or not wanting to express what their beauty or what they consider beautiful in life?
Exactly. Well, you know what? I've always found that it's easier to kind of get someone talking when you're willing to talk about how you feel about certain things. So, I generally open up first to people, and I'll tell them, you know, this is how I think about beauty, from this into that. And just, I start opening up, and I feel like that combo kind of allows them to start opening up a little bit. And it's totally like non-judgmental. It's just a conversation between women and me reassuring them that their voice means something in the world, and don't hide. Speak loudly, like you only live once. So go for it, speak your truth, and be out there as much as you feel comfortable being out there. Not everyone wants to be on camera or on a podcast or any of this, but you could still speak your truth on your Facebook posts or to your family, to your friends. Just, I know I want women to feel more free than they do. Well, here we are, Tammy. Let's bring them in today.
What do you think men think beauty is?
External.
Still? Like 100%? Do you think that's changed at all?
I mean, yes and no. I think men generally, their first look is, how they define you. It's on the outside most of the time, or at least the guys I know, you know what I'm saying? Which isn't saying much. But, I feel like, once maybe, a man gets to know someone a little bit better, then they see a deeper beauty there, because really the outside only gets you so far. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Because you open your mouth and you start talking crazy, all the beauty's gone. It's so true. I met a guy in college. He was very handsome, and I was like, "Wow, he's so handsome." But he started talking. I was like, "Okay, no."
Don't you just want to say, shh?
Yes. I'm like, no, sir. Thank you. No, but exactly. I think men have a little bit further to go in this area than women. So not 100%, maybe 70-30.
So do you think if women start becoming more comfortable in their own skin, and living a life where beauty matters and is prioritized, do you think that will change or make a difference in the men's view, the male lens?
Well,
or does it matter?
you know what? I just thought of it right now. I just recently saw some social media posts for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Now, I feel they've really, opened it up to like all forms of beauty. And I love that, because no one looks like Elle Macpherson except for Elle Macpherson. So it's just like, and, I'm looking at all of these women and all of these strong bodies and thin bodies and just everything, muscular bodies. And I'm like, okay, like, I think men will start to learn a little bit more visually from even seeing it in their own magazines. shades. That beauty comes in all forms. And men, they have all different versions of what they think beautiful is too. I mean, it's certainly not, a model for everyone, like there's someone for everyone out there for the most part.
Beauty is a home cooked meal quite
Yes, it
often,
is.
right?
Oh my God. That is what actually my husband would say. Beauty is a home cooked meal. That is the biggest thing actually, which is so funny. I never like really cooked before, but being home now I cook. I mean, everything I can cook.
You enjoy it?
I love it.
What do you like about it?
Oh my God. I don't know. Just like making something totally new that I've never made and then taking the time and just putting it together and it tasting really good. Oh my gosh. I cook 6 nights a week and, love to bake too. And my husband, that is his favorite thing of me being home, is that he loves having a home cooked meal every single night. I was like, see? So he finds the beauty in the food. So here you are. Yes.
I guess that saying the quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach still holds.
Oh, it does, especially for my Italian husband. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh.
There is a book that I recently learned about. It's called The Ethics of Beauty.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard. I think it's been around for a little bit. It's by Dr. Timothy Patisis.
Okay.
It's not for the light of heart. It's over 700 pages, and it really gets into the theological and Eastern, Western views on beauty. But he did some studies, Courtney, that just really I happened to come across this and thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect for our conversation. They took a look at trauma victims.
Okay.
And they were specific with military vets. And taking a look at these men and women who were just completely, PTSD, just completely shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And, the ability to integrate once they'd left the military was near impossible.
Yes.
And they found out that the only thing that even began to open them up was beauty.
Really?
And that came in the form of playing their favorite song.
Yeah.
Showing a beautiful picture or painting, watching a sunset.
Yeah.
Those were the things that started to crack them open a little bit and begin the healing process.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, playing your favorite song and exactly a beautiful sunset, all of those things are such important, beautiful things in life that, a lot of people take for granted. Exactly. And look at these servicemen and women, which reminds me, we actually had a feature story in Bella called The Beauty of Service. Mm. My husband is very, pro, the military and highlighting them and all of their work and everything they go through. And so he would interview someone, in the Marines, the Army, Navy, and we'd feature them. And that was beautiful, is actually seeing, these people who have fought for our country and put their lives on the line and seeing how they define beauty. And it's exactly what you're saying.
Just along those lines, I want to express it's always an emotional topic for me. And it's not because, I have someone close to me who's been in the military. It's just one of those, we all have those triggers for some reason.
No, it's true. It's true.
And, take a moment to, again, express our gratitude to all the men and women in service. Now in particular is a very difficult time for them and their families.
Yes.
And so sending all love and light to everyone.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I was thinking about too is who do I think is beautiful in life? Going beyond, as you had said, our families and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Because we all have, because of media, just been inspired by, like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. Oh my gosh, he's so beautiful. Who in your life, or who, if it's a classic film star or whoever, who are a couple of people that have inspired you by their beauty, and just folks that you go, gosh, God bless America. They are just gorgeous.
I know, I know. Well, you know what? When I go, God bless America, they're just gorgeous. I'm actually mid watching Love Story with JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Gosh, I mean, I started out in publishing at the same publishing house where George was published. So I used to see JFK Jr. in the hallways. I was 23, 24. Oh, I mean, there was nobody more handsome than him and the nicest guy. And that is what made him even more handsome, is that he would say hi to everyone. He'd be like, hi, hi, just like, just we're all just working in an office, no big deal. So he was not only beautiful on the outside, but he had a really kind-hearted, just beautiful spirit about him that everyone really liked. So
I have to just I have to dig into that a little bit longer.
okay.
When you started at that publishing house, so you knew, oh my gosh, it's the same publishing house as George, right? Or
You
did you
know
not
what?
know?
I wasn't even thinking about it. No, I had no idea. And then all of a sudden, there was a lot of commotion, and he was having meetings with the head, honcho, who actually was on my floor, and then I would just like see him all the time in the building carrying his bike, like in the elevator. I was like,
So it's real. That's
no,
for
it was
real.
so real, but it was so funny because everyone would just be like, starstruck, and he would just be like, hey guys, like no big deal. So yeah, he was, oh my gosh. So yeah, that was like, I mean, I didn't know him, but just from being in the environment, he was really amazing. His wife, never met her, drop dead gorgeous. So that's like on the external beauty. I'm trying to think of really beautiful people I've met. I mean, I've really met, a really beautiful soul I met through Bella, who's recently passed, was James Vanderbeek.
You posted about that. I had no idea he was your first LA Bella
Yes.
cover.
And he was one of the most thoughtful, kind people I've ever sat down and spoken to. Um, he just was beauty on the inside. Like his message, just he was kind and just happy. And then I followed him with his move to Texas and his big family. I think he's got 6 kids, and his beautiful wife. And I just felt like, looking at someone I had met, I felt like he lived the epitome of what he defined a beautiful life, and more than anyone. And I just have such respect for his legacy because he lived an amazing life. Even however short it was a beautiful, beautiful life. And you can see it with his wife and beautiful children that have been left behind. So yeah, he was amazing.
His light will be missed.
It absolutely will be. Oh, he had a great light. Yeah. So he was a top one. Yeah.
Talk about reinvention. You said when you'd made that decision to sell Bella, take the time to get your kids through school. Now your son, yes, is the last one,
My baby boy.
your
Yeah.
baby boy, who's not such a baby. Holy
No,
macaroni! He's he's a
6'5".
young man. He
Yes,
is a young man,
he is.
and so congratulations to that. That's
Thank you.
exciting, very exciting. But now you are in that reinvention phase of your life,
Yeah.
and part of that is this podcast that you
Mhm.
started with Lauren. Is it Picarillo?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yay!
Yes.
I did
Lauren's
it.
amazing.
She
Like
is.
she's got a great personality. She, has her own ways of defining beauty, and we're kind of the same, kind of opposite at the same time. And it was really her concept, her idea. And she asked me if I just join her as a co-host. I said, of course I'll do it. It's like, if you want to do something, I'm here to help any way I can. And so that's how it all kind of started. And so far it's been really fun. It's been good. And we've been meeting a lot of great women, and just trying to spread positivity in your reinvention, in your building of a business, in your journey as a stay-at-home mom. Just like, let's all be in it together and offer each other advice and support. And that's what we're trying to do with Moms, Moguls, and Mayhem.
Well, I really enjoy the fact that you're talking to local business owners, women
Yeah, it's
who are just running their small businesses,
Yeah.
and they're either, just getting it up and running, or they've been in the trenches,
Yeah.
for 10 or 15 years, and you're offering them a platform to tell their story.
Absolutely.
And there always seems to be a through line of one of the gals, I should have her name, but she says, you're going to have to put the hard work in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's an understatement. That's an understatement. I mean, honestly, like everyone sees, the Bella years, and like, oh my gosh, it was so fabulous. They have no idea the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that magazine. It was insanity. I mean, you've been so successful too. It takes so much work behind the scenes that no one sees, that it's hard, and you need support, and you need to feel that women are supporting women, and we're here to help each other any which way we can, whether you're starting off baking cookies in your oven, out of your house, or if you're running a Fortune 500 company, we're all kind of the same,
I think too, there's a real beauty in allowing yourself to fail.
Yes. It's tough.
It's tough, but you just don't get to where you deserve to get to, that success, without those moments, those lower moments.
100%. 100%. I mean, there were many moments prior to me selling that I said, I've had enough. I'm not doing this anymore. It's just too much. I would just cry in my office. I mean, it just gets so overwhelming because you feel like quitting, but you just have to somehow see that sunlight the next morning and say, no, I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. There's beauty in never giving up.
Has that always been a part of just who you are, or is that something that you learned along the way?
I kind of feel like that's always kind of been who I am. Once I get my mind on something, like I don't stop, even if it's killing me inside, even if I've failed, and I'm like, I'm not going to stop until I feel that I've given it everything I can, and that I've at least reached some amount of success that I was trying to get. And, it's always been me. I sold knives in college because I didn't want to move home for the summer. So I told my mom and dad, okay, I'm going to pay for my own apartment. I'm going to sell knives on the side. And they're like, dear God, but I did. It worked.
Well, that kind of tenacity, Courtenay, is really something that, maybe that's part of your reinvention, is sharing that tenacity and what that can look like. Sharing your story. A TED Talks. I don't know. Have you thought about that?
Oh no, I am no public speaker.
You're not.
No.
But you've been in the public eye for how long?
I know, but that's what's so crazy. And that is actually something that I need to work on in my next stage of life, is that I would turn like amazing opportunities down because I didn't want to speak in front of a group. Yeah. I just get so nervous for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, clearly I've dropped that nugget for a reason.
Oh my gosh.
So you need to give it a little bit more thought.
You're right. You're right. It's definitely my biggest weakness is, just getting so nervous that I can't. I mean, here it's fine. It's just like us talking. It's fine. But if I was, looking out into a crowd of 200 people, I'd be like, So yeah, that's what I'm going to work on. That's what I'm going to work on.
I mean, to your credit, speaking in front of people is apparently people's number one phobia. Like statistically speaking in front of people is the biggest phobia, which fascinates me.
I know. Well, you know what? It's weird how like some people can just do it so effortlessly. I'm just like, my gosh, look at you. You speak beautifully, and you can command a room of hundreds of people. And yeah, I don't know. I envy them because I feel like that is really something special that I am lacking at this moment in my life.
Well, you got it. Let me just tell you, you've already figured it out. So I'm looking forward to what that translates to over the next few years for you.
My upcoming TED Talk, you never know, Tam, you never know.
I will be there in the audience. Yay!
They heard it here first. That's for sure.
There are so many little segues and transitions into talking about beauty. And one of the things that I thought of was the cost.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The mental cost, the psychological cost, the monetary cost. But I'm going to save that to maybe having a second chat with you.
Oh, I would love that.
Continuing this conversation about beauty, because it just translates into so many different areas for women in particular. But I also think about the kids.
Oh gosh.
And what were we growing up with and given the ideal of beauty? Yes, I mean, it's not as if this is anything new. We're influenced by media,
mm-hmm.
social media now, 24/7.
Yeah.
So let's have a little conversation about maybe some other conversations to talk about beauty, because I'd really love to continue that.
Tam, me too. That gives me so many thoughts, but it's so true. That'd be a great conversation, especially because it's evolved so much since I was young in the 80s. I mean, talk about day and night. We could cover a lot. Yes, I'm up for it.
Awesome.
Yay.
Where can people find you? Where can people find Moms, Moguls, and Mayhem?
I know. It doesn't just roll off. The tongue doesn't, damn. I know. It's like me too trying to say it. Well, me, you can just find me on social media. Instagram is Courtenay Hall, or maybe it's Courtenay Cooper Hall. Either way, type in one of them, it'll pop up. And then you can find Moms, Moguls, and Mayhem on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, you can find us there. We actually put out 2 new episodes a month, and check us out.
They're really good, everyone. I watched a few episodes of the
You're
podcast.
So nice, Sam. Thank you.
And it's really fun. There's always laughter between you and Lauren. That's
yes.
Both of you are just hilarious. But you really see the appreciation from these women of just being able to have, again, a platform to talk about what they've accomplished.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. It's really been amazing. I love it.
So make sure and check them out. Folks, you can find me on Instagram at Tammy.Govea, on Facebook, Tammy Govea, and then LA Off the Record is on my YouTube channel, which I've spent the last almost year. I was like, oh, right, I do have a YouTube channel.
No, it's great, Tam. I love your show. I'm just so honored to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And if you've enjoyed the show today, guys, whether you're an audio listener or video viewer, please comment, make sure and subscribe to the channel, because there will be more shows coming down the line. And I guess that's all for now. Courtenay, thanks again.
Thanks, Tammy.
Until we meet again.
Woo!